Thank you for coming on into live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment, of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. So Bitcoin got a little bit of a move to the upside from our stream, so that was quite nice. We were watching this little dump pre-market, and we've been trying out something a little bit fresh on the eyes. We're seeing this little failure to the downside here, and this little ABC continuation idea beneath a 236 level of a larger time frame here. If we go to a 1 hour, this bullish trend-based fib level at 15,372.50, we came back to retest that and went slightly below it to hit some of this gap that we during the contract update. And so now we're seeing a little bit of a bounce, and prior to the market, before our stream, we did enter a little bit of a trade here off that 618 bounce zone here of this retracement, this fib bounce, after seeing the cross up here and then re-entering the channel. And yeah, we were posting it out to the group. We were looking at it down here, seeing the bullish divergence starting to play out, and then it started to retrace into that pocket, and we were projecting this idea to that C level, and boom, hit it. And we got a runner just chilling like a villain in that trade, and it is, oh, hi there, still up about 100 ticks. So we'll see what the market will do. It's just a little runner. It's either going to break us out at break even, or we'll just see how far it runs for the day. But yeah, how's everyone doing out there? New indicator, it's kind of like just, yeah, a little bit of a, it's trying to emphasize things that already exist, as you know, like the baselines and whatnot. Speaking of which, let's throw on the heads up display. Link in the description for more features. Toggle down at the bottom at your leisure. See everything in effect. Essentially the trend cloud, which I love, and the baselines, which I love. So it's a highlighter of those tools. I call it Momentum Master Light. So it's going to be this light on those things. So when the baseline crossed up on the 1 minute, you're watching it come back into this channel, and the trend cloud volume also suppressing, which causes the A wave to be rejected here. And then we're trying to get caught back into the channel to watch this like Cinderella slipper looking thing. This is kind of what the Williams thing looks like when you watch the Williams kind of double bottom its way out. So it's kind of like the white comes out of the dark channel, the light comes out of the dark or comes above the dark, and you're dealing with this light dark idea. So the light coming above the dark here gives you the double top insinuation kind of thing. At least that's how it's working out right now. Then you have these little dots to show you that you're following the trend, and yeah, it's kind of curving too, so hopefully you can utilize the curvature of that, how that rounded top looks, to your advantage. So we're going to try it out live as we did with that trade off the 618. I mean, we were using other factors, of course, the 618 bounce and the cross up of the baselines and whatnot, and the fact that there was like a huge dump down there. So that's kind of you know, that liquidity grab was massive, so I was expecting a little bit of a bounce. So did everyone have a good weekend? Hopefully. Hopefully good. So we're just chilling this 236 level at the 15,342 for this impulse retrace. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to delete this really quick because it already played out, but you have this impulse and the retrace here, and within that math, your trend-based fib levels give you the clue of where what it wants to do. And this can happen on all things. Like, for example, if we were able to chart this properly, we were coming back from Costco and eating dinner with the family, but if we went like this on this impulse retrace and the 236 holding, boom, it came down to a level here on the 1618 and bounced off the 1618, came back into that. Not the most perfect example, but even if you want to consider this entire thing one impulse to the downside and a retrace up to here, if you're not dead set on the idea of a long playing out, like if this is a dead cat bounce, this is where we are slated to possibly go down here at the 15282 level for that impulse retrace. If we can't get above that 236 of the bullish nature that we broke down beneath, so this could be a bearish retest of that, in which case we do come lower, and that 236 would be at 15,351. And the bullish nature of this small impulse, which already played out, we're going to just delete it because it's too much information on the screen. Whatever it runs up from this point is kind of the thing we're looking at here. About 24 minutes for the open. We're going to have some opening shenanigans most likely, so we'll probably get stopped out with that little runner, but it's all good. We're already pretty decent on the trade that we took. 122 ticks secured, I think, across the 2 contracts or whatever. Alright, so yeah, that's how you do the impulse retrace idea. So on this one you have the impulse, the retrace, and then if it's so inclined, then you may have this C wave down to here. You see what I mean? But the only way that would be real is if it starts to close beneath this 236 level. This is the 236 entry model idea. If it holds that 236, then this is basically creating an ABC to continue higher. So not getting biased or bullish or bearish on any idea, but you have this basically installed from another idea back here. So this 236 over here is from this impulse and retrace. Okay, so that impulse retrace idea gave you a 236 to possibly continue. So you had an impulse and a retrace, and this 236 to hold, which we're kind of battling out right above that level. And that's what this level is here. So as of this moment, we're coming back beneath. Let's go into the contracts, shall we? This is the ATAS platform. You can sign up for a 14-day free trial. What you can do is see where a lot of contracts enter. If you see a lot of buys enter up into the tops, that means that a lot of shorts and or trapped longs potentially enter. And if you see a lot of sells down at the bottom, then all of the longs got triggered and possibly see a shift out of that. So it's an interesting angle to look at where the volume is entering and exiting. Right here in the last minute or two, you had 137 contracts stopped out overall in terms of longs and or shorts opening at that point. So if you see a lot of sells into the dump, then the higher chance of a liquidity grab / trap of the shorts to be sprung. So you want to long into a large group of sells, and you want to short into a large group of buys. So you saw up here, there was 113 buys opening up here in the top here as they started to reverse out. And it's no coincidence at that exact top was where they decided to reverse it. Yo, what's up? Rainier, thanks for stopping in. We had this nice little bounce off that 618 of the impulse, that entry model. If you're wondering what this is a very nice reversal play. You can check it out in the framework of the Discord. Download that entry checklist and you can get that kind of pocket bounce idea, and you can have a relatively nice stop loss if you're seeing divergence and whatnot. That's one possibility for looking for an entry model. It works on all sides of the equation, so if you, for example, if we go to a 10-minute chart and then we draw this on the opposite side of the equation here, oops, regular retracement. Then you'll see me doing this often, where I'm retracing the impulses and then I'm looking for these reactions on those pockets, and then if it's bearish ultimately, then you'll see something off of the 0.5, and if it's ultra bearish, you'll see a shallow retrace into the 382 and then react off of that. We had a solid reaction off the 236 of that bullish nature thing, so if we come back above to that halfway recovery of this impulse, if we're looking to continue downwards. It's a mighty thick cloud on the 10-minute, so I don't know how quickly that can reverse here. 15-minute cloud looking to potentially bounce back into this light side of the band. We had a nice liquidity grab down here. We swept all of these lows over here. Are we entering into a new echelon though? Is this going to be that B wave down to the C here? That is the question. The 236 will be your guide at 15,351. Last Friday we didn't have time to draw this on the bearish idea, but it would have been a perfect entry model to see candles close beneath that 236. Would have been like confirming that it's possibly going lower than that point. And so the light dips beneath the dark and then comes back. It dips above the dark and comes back. And so I'm trying to find these points where it likes to dip back in. And you could possibly take these surges out. Hey, thanks for people stopping on in. So you had a bunch of stopped out traders off that wick there. You had the volume of about 141 contracts down of sell side that was taken there. 200 here in the previous 2 minutes, so you had about 300 stopped out there.
Fatality.
Hey, don't stop me out, guys.
Yeah, I'm just playing with some stuff. Alright, so the sell side taken, and then they come back into that. Now, if I had another Rhythmic account, I would be able to link this up live, but I want to have my Bulanox linked to this, to my copy trader. Link is also in the description for that 20% off code for, what's it called? This Replikanto. So I have all the accounts linked up, so it's like these ticks times however many accounts I have linked right now. So the 236 holding. We got about 15 minutes for the open. We're just chilling like a villain. Hope you got your coffee and your drinks at the ready. Cross up event into the channel here, the dark channel. Cross down into the Got the volume weighted cloud here. I tried to align everything with the volume weighted cloud so everything kind of adds to these ideas and makes it more visual and representing volume. So overall, what I was seeing prior to the market, hold up, wait. So I was seeing in the previous hour, as we surged up here, you saw a bunch of sells here, 277, 292, 247, 251, about 2K of sells. That could have been the longs that longed the bottom that were in without conviction to hold, but it also could have been shorts that entered and we're right back in that region. And you're getting a bunch of sells here too, so there's a bunch of sells getting trapped on the hourly here. So that could be fuel for the fire. We've just came back above the 360 level, which is right above that region. We're gonna highlight it with the circle here. This 360 level has like a good chunk of sells, which if they remain above 360, which also happens to coincide with that 236 level, if they stay above this, then they're taking the sell side for the ride to the upside till they become the buy side, if you catch my drift, because shorts squeeze themselves up until they have to buy at a loss. So then you'll see a fatigue of buyers at a point, and that's when you get out. It's similar to here. Look at all the buyers from Friday. Friday had just nothing but buyers. For the delta on the day, we had 7,000 positive delta. Right now we have minus 2K delta, so there's more short delta than long delta, the minus. So we had positive buys the entire way down. So if you inspect this all the way down, there's just buyers. Look at all these buys. Look, it's all blue. Blue. So the entire time people were expecting a bounce, they were fueling the entire downside range. Blue. So that is why we did not bounce on Friday, because there was just more buy side than sell side the entire way down. And then even over here, blue at 420, and boom, now we're back down to 360. Now you're starting to see more sells, which is indicative of now starting to meet their market objective and come back from that point. So you got some buyers opening up here too, so they might have to do some wick whacking to like knock out everyone, like a bull kicking off a rider, because we got 10 minutes till the open. This is my layman's understanding of this. I'm relatively new to footprint charts, but not new to the liquidity game, so I know how liquidity works fairly well, I would say. Whoa, what's up everyone? What's up? Ripsh. How's the audio? Is there no doubled up music today? I hope. I reboot every time now, like fresh right before the stream, so that seems to do the trick for whatever reason. If I stream prior to the stream and then stream again, it like doubles my audio. How does it look with Haking, I wonder? This is interesting. Taking a look at it. Okay, Now time to split the screen and start to look at some divergences. We're getting some money flow fatigue above the RSI here on the multiple time frame analysis for the Optima here. Same thing occurring on the 1 minute. There's occasions where the RSI spikes up to meet the money flow, but more likely than not the money flow comes down to the RSI in this disparity. I'd like to see more bearish divergence first if you're going to think about that type of idea. I'm just either going to let that runner I have in from the bottom get stopped out and then observe the hour of power coming up at 30 minutes after the open. But I'm not going to take any more trades in the chop. Let's see. Let me move this over. There. That's where we'll start observing. Volume great, music fantastic, nice. Love to hear it. Until we get about 500 subs, we're not going to worry about like copyright, because there's no like monetization of the channel anyway. So if you're not going to get a copyright strike unless you're trying to claim it as yours anyway. I'm familiar with the fair use idea, and I have a bunch of channels, some of which have like near 1 million views. I wasn't even trying to get 1 million views. I was just putting my philosophical ideas out there and managed to get that many. And then I got copyright struck under the fair use thing, but I didn't want to monetize anyway, so I said whatever, I'd rather keep the music. And the light comes above the dark. You know, shadows are false images. They're not real. It's just the absence of light. And technically, white and black are the same thing, same phenomenon. It's nothing. Black is the absorption of all light, and white is the reflection of all light. But they're technically the same phenomenon, which is nothing. They're no color. White and black are not colors. The weird thing is when you start studying black body radiation and you learn that if you wear black clothes to bed, for example, you get colder quickly because it absorbs and emits out your heat, your infrared, quicker. So you actually lose body heat if you wear a black shirt or have black sheets on your bed. So if you want to have a cooler summer, use black sheets. Bounce off that channel bounce there. Trying to find these back testable levels. Getting a cross down event. We got 5 minutes, 6 minutes. We're just chopping around within this consolidation range right here. Let's go look at what the Renko charts are saying. So the 8 bar on the Renko is flat at the minute for the super trend. You're above super trend 1 and 2, and the 50 starting to curve up here. You're attempting to flip the bearish nature of the 16 and the 32. This oscillator trying to double bottom perhaps. And yeah, you could have the draw up to the 200 if we're trying to false move Monday out. We had a previous liquidity grab. One thing to note is on the hourly time frame, we have like a cross-up event on the hourly. So I was telling somebody earlier today that we were going to potentially double bottom. So I was looking for this double bottom idea, this liquidity grab that happened pre-market. That was a nice cloud bounce there. I slightly adjusted the cloud value here.
Zach, whoa, horse farm, what's up, Smurf? I don't know if that actually comes across as a horse. Oh, snap. All right, we got four minutes. Remember this 236, 351. If you're going to have a C leg to the downside, you'll start seeing some candles break beneath this. And this 236 up above, which we rejected off once, is the bullish trend-based fib. So are we getting a bearish retest / continuation to the downside? I have no idea, and I don't care. So that's why we're caught between a rock and a hard place between the two 236s, saying what's up. Three minutes. It's getting closer to the runner's stop out position. They already swept these lows here once. They're coming back for more. Let's go look at the contracts one last time on ATAS before the live opens up. So getting another 100, 400 or 500 stopped out there for sell side. Good to see because it clears all of those potential longs. Not that many overall though. Getting some buys which are more interested in longs here. Stable is open. One minute, and we're right back at that 236 I was talking about. We already saw a retrace into that pocket, so I'm going to make it a deep retrace now because it's basically negated all the way to the 706 anyway. And 16 seconds. Beep, 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 bing. And we're off to the races. And the price action goes up and then it goes down and then it's going down again and it's going down and up and up and up and down. Is it going to hold the 236 of the bearish trend-based fib nature, or is it going to go above and up to the bullish trend-based 236 up here? I don't know, Bill. You tell me. Looks like it's breaking the 236 right now on the 32nd. Oh, but it came back above. It's wick-whacking the price, Bill. is doing what it does on the open. It's taking it to the upside here. Was that a little simple pivot off the 236 saying hell no to the, we won't go to the shorts, and now it's going to squeeze the shorts to Kingdom Come? It looks like it might be the case, Bill. If it goes above this 236 up here at 372, it just might moon up to the top here. Looks like that is coming back down again. We did get some bullish divergence of some kind, but I don't know how stable it is. Looks like it's holding the top of the range, saying no, we're not going to let you out, shorts. Did they trap a bunch of sell side down there? I don't know. You're getting a green dot on the Optima telling you the momentum to the upside might be inbound. Oh, it just flashed away. You're getting money stacked on the table as well within the multiple time frame formula of the Optima. Is it going to the upside? You got the cross up event here, and you negated that bearish 236 pretty well, and now you're going into the bullish 236 territory of the higher time frame. Uh-oh, it might be squeezing some shorts. AI Royale. Hey, what's up, man?
Getting the 5 time frames exhausted symbol here on Momentum Master Ultimate. The stochastic array is some wild stuff. We had the nukes on Friday that played out in the Asian session. With the 5 time frames exhausted, does that mean we're going to see some upside on the higher time frames? I don't know. Alright, so in all seriousness, the cloud is now, it's wicking off the cloud in a confirmation way, which we like to see in terms of upside momentum here. It's holding the top of that little mini range here, suggesting it trapped enough sell side to justify a move here. This could be the pivot out, but always beware of open if you're playing it. I'm only playing it with a runner that is now up 175 with the stop moving into profit, securing 116. That's why you use ATM strategies, because it's going to knock me out if it goes below, and it did. 116 ticks confirmed on that runner. And let's see. So it made the 16 bar neutral now, wicked off of the 50 SMA, and that could be an ABC to the downside if it continues. Wait, it's going higher? Wait, what was going on? Wait, what? Why is my thing like lagged? That's so weird. Say what? It's saying like 76, 77, and then over here it's already at 399. Okay, we're gonna disregard that. Lag on my Ninja Trader. Either way, so you had bullish divergence here and the money bags. We were talking about it prior to the divergence playing out, and then it did play out and then locked it in. What is this little bit of happiness on the Optima here? It starts to put this money bag when there's bullish divergence on the money flow, and then you had another diamond, which is another money flow divergence. And you're seeing the money stack on the table, stack on the table, stack on the table on the 30-second here, also cascading to the 1 minute. I don't really need to look beneath 30 seconds. I'm only using it for the
front run of what's appearing on the 1 minute too.
Massive squeeze happening right now up to the 405 region. This is a previous pivot point from Friday, I think. And the shorts are getting their buttocks clenched right now. And on the 8 bar, that was a nice bounce off the SMA here, straight off it. That was a smooth play on the Renko as well. Shout out if you are in that long. My runner got stopped out on some wickage here with my ATM strategy, trailing too tight. Everyone good in the hood, hopefully. Good in the hood. All right, so we're gonna go see what type of contracts got liquidated here on the ATOS platform. Footprints. Let's go see what the footprints be printing. So you had about 600 buy side taken there at the value area high. A lot of buyers coming in. Those buyers are most likely the shorts we went over down here. So these shorts that were down at that 236 we were talking about, they took them for a little bit of a squeeze-a-roo up to the 414 region, up at that value area high for the day. Let's go ahead and look at that on the minutia of the 2-minute. And you can see these little clusters because I use a cluster search feature. It's an indicator within the ATOS thing where you can have different contracts highlighted for you. So you had 309 buy side and 288 buy side as we go into this 419 region. So whether those are shorts being stopped out or not, I don't know. But when you see these peeling off sells as well, those could be new shorts trying to short the top here, also providing the fuel for these buys that if they are buyers, it's either shorts being squeezed and or longs entering at the top. But the more you see buyers, the more potential it is to fade. So getting the sells 315 in buy side now. The previous 2K imbalance to the sell side of the minus delta is now to 1K contracts. And as you see on the hourly, we're getting a bunch of buys enter here. And bangarang to the upside. I'm going to put on just regular Momentum Master for a minute. So that 236 is gone, and we are now back above for the day. We even negated that fib level, all good in the hood. We were not shorting that at all. That's why the 236 was our confirmation, which did not, it bounced right off it with a bing. So we're now getting the cross-up event of the 15-minute. Not that that matters in Nasdaq because it could flip on a dime, but one thing I was talking about earlier today to somebody in a DM was this hourly cross-up event we are seeing on the NQ. I was saying I'm not interested in longing this till at least it does a liquidity grab / double bottom, and it did. So that was why I was looking for a potential long idea, which I did take prior to the open. And we're getting a bunch of volume entering here on these last 2 hours, a significant amount. Previous with the 3 hours if you include the sells. So they had a bunch of stopped out longs. They hit their market objective most likely and are starting to shift, at least for now. This could be flipping on a dime though. We're going to be looking very carefully because we did see a bunch of buy side, and here it goes. There's a pivot. Okay, so we're going to leave the light on the other one. We'll leave the lights on this one over here. Still tweaking it, but I figured what better place to unveil than in the field. You know, getting the volume weighted cloud here, getting the cross down on the 30-second. and you're getting that money flying away idea as of that 30 seconds prior to the cross down event. You had a money flying away stack with the bearish divergence crystal appear, and then the money started to fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away, and you started to come back from that 29 region all the way back down to sub 400 now, getting do not enters on the longs, warning you not to enter from here, even on this little bounce here. Still seeing the money fly away and not abating at all, so this could be a huge potential. We came above this light side of this cloud like entity on the 1 minute and came back in, and now we're crossing down on the 1 minute as well, getting a slight bearish divergence. If we go like this on the 1 minute multiple time frame formula, we had a lower high on the money flow, and yet we had a higher high on price. So if I was watching this more carefully and not gabbing about the higher time frames, we would have been able to catch that nice idea perhaps, but we're not going to take these plays until the silver bullet in the hour closes. Got previously chopped up one too many times, so we're gonna just tell you play by play. Coming back to the super trend on the 30-second, broke it. Could wick off the cloud and still reclaim it though. Coming back to the channel on the super trend on the 1 minute. This money flying away is pretty strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of it thus far, not abating at all, going from 427 all the way to 384. Did anyone take anything yet, or are you just observing? We're gonna delete this because I don't know what that was for. And we're back to the 236 of the bullish nature of the higher time frame nature. See, now the bearish divergence crystal printed. Sometimes it prints early and sometimes it prints late. I'm trying to understand in the formula which of the two is causing. Is it the angle of this or the angle of this, like the wickage on that? Like, I know how the formula works and it has to do with pivots. So what does it justify as a pivot? I know it's about higher highs and lower highs and things like that of the oscillator and lower highs of the price action, but it was pretty sharp to see that it should have printed after this first minute, because some people can't see the divergence in advance, you know. That's the idea of the formula printing there. It's still there without the crystal being there, you know what I mean? Like, you can still see it, and that's why on the 30-second they had this, but they didn't print the line because it was so small on the 30-second. It just printed the crystal only. So you could have taken that bearish divergence. The reason why I knew it was bearish is because the crystal appears above the line. If it appears below the line like this one, then you know it's bullish. So there's like bearish and bullish, and the money flame is burning off of money, so selling, and then money bag is stacking on, so long entering. So yeah, similar with the money stack, and fly away, fly away, fly away. And it looks like we're getting a C wave potentially. The one thing to note about Optimal, which is pretty interesting during the New York Open anyway, is that when you get to this region of the 65 level, it's like overbought. It does sometimes go above that, but for the most part you get this kind of fatigue at these points down at 35 and 65. Just the way the cookie crumbled when making it, you know. It's not like I intended it that way. a lot of things with indicators are you don't intend anything. You're playing with a bunch of formulas, right? And then you start to see how the fractal-like nature of the formula lines up, like this helix. When I was doing these crossover, cross-down events, I was like, wait a minute, with this value versus this value, it always does the bottom and the top. Huh, that's a cool winner right there. And then finding those tops and bottoms was circumstance, really. Back testing and circumstance. And so that's what we're trying to do with this light and this dark channel thing, trying to get those top areas which lead into the cross downs and then give you that insinuation. Insinuating downside, ABC to the downside perhaps. Boom, boom, boom. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I think you could even just do something like this. Let's go see how the 4 minute is looking. 4 minute is pretty overbought. Still could come down some more. Alright. That long was fire? Nice. You took it? Good. That bullish divergence though. Bully D, bully D. Coming back to that adaptive weighted level. Happens to be the bottom of that. We're back to that 236.
Back to that 236. Get the money stack. Money stack. Money stack. Money stack. They gated that 236. That could just be a B to a C going up. You got the cross up event. Don't negate them. Don't play against those. No. No siree, Bob. What are these little helixes, by the way? These are your baselines. MomentumMaster.info if you want to read about it if you're new. Cross-up event confirmed. We're back in that channel. Bounce off the cloud on the 1 minute, came beneath it to sweep that at the bottom of this little light channel here, or the dark channel. Light versus dark. Alright, so this is also the ABC idea of bounce off the SMA of the 16 bar if you're a Renko player. 32 bar is now neutral. Coming to that 50 SMA, looking for a decision to go to which this pool or that. You still have a large amount of pools all the way up to 435 here on the 8 bar to draw back into. Got hidden bullish here, hidden bullish with the money bag. Money stack, 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 stack. All right, so still money stacking is strong.
So the places we could go, the things we could see, the higher highs we could take over at 460. Let's go see how the ATAS is doing in terms of which contracts are delta-wise springing in where. Getting a bunch of buys entered over here on the hourly time frame. All of those previous shorts down below that we circled that you'd like to see at lows when you want to consider buying. You want to see more sells into the bottoms, and you want to see more buys up at the top. So beware if you see a lot of buys. If you're thinking of it continuing, it might just fade at some stage if you see a lot of buys. The buyer beware of the buys. Seller beware of the sells. So this is why up here you had a bunch of some buys coming in, buy. That's a lot of stop-out shorts, and then you have potentially people peeling off contracts. But overall, you had 570 imbalance. Two buyers at the tippity top at 432, and then boom, they sharply reversed it out. And then they went negative on the sell side, and then they started to come back up, and now they're coming positive on the buy side. And that is how the ATAS works. You just look at footprints and the cumulative volume delta within. You can go to right click and go to settings, and you can go to the clusters settings, and you can say, what do you want to see? Do you want volume profile? Do you want number of trades, the delta, like all that stuff? You can choose what's in it. I'm happy if you reach out in Discord to give you a tutorial on how to set it up. It's very, very easy to follow. Getting a little bit of bearish divergence if we start to sweep up above these highs a little bit. The money stack has subsided here, and notice when it subsided we kind of chilled out here too. Cloud also starting to taper a bit here on the 30-second. 1 minute still thick, but the angle is kind of in repose right now. Getting a money fly away stack, money stack flying away here. Brrr, money stack flying away. 6 minutes less than for the hour to close. Then the algorithm will be triggered and go brrr and assess with whatever quantum computer or whatever it is they're using to liquidate the most amount of accounts, and then it will go that direction. Cross down event on the 30-second. Didn't really get bearish divergence because we didn't make a higher high, but it did make a lower high here. It was equal highs. It was kind of a C class divergence. I don't factor C. It's only A and B that are in my formula, but the weak ones I don't really care to see, pardon the pun. I can see it anyway. The whole diamond stuff, the money bag one is more for me to see if that's on the money flow, because I don't have the money. There's two money flow divergences factored here, so the diamond and the money bag is actually two different money flows being displayed. I was like, why am I looking at this other money flow? Why don't I just factor it in? And then that's what I did. If you guys were with me when we traded together, you'd know which money flow I'm talking about. Starts with the C. So the money bag is the C1. C1. And brr, brr, the C money bags are nice. Four minutes. How's everything look? Let's see. Ooh. I wish there was a way to make this heads-up display track my head as I move like this. I saw this one guy, this streamer by the name of Bye Bye Money, and he uses a panda avatar and it tracks his face and stuff. But I use a Mac, and the face tracking stuff I saw was for like a GeForce card on a PC only, for OBS for a PC only. I'd like to have it available in general, not just for a PC. You know, I love Mac, but you know, I don't like that some things are proprietary to PC. Macs are cool too, man. See, look, this is a nice Mac. You got 64 gigs of RAM. It's an M1 Ultra. You can't really go wrong with that. You know what I mean? So why can't they make it available for both? They had a Snapchat filter, and I saw that like Jordan Cameron uses one. He uses like he distorts his face and stuff. I'm not sure how he does that. All right, holding the cloud here on the ambiguous thinning of the 30-second here. The 1 minute still mighty thick. You came back above the light cloud, came above the dark, and started to fatigue as it would, making like a McDonald's looking thing. Ultimately trending to the upside because of these blue dots, trying to make it more visually easy to follow. So you're like, well, we're above the dark with the light, so I'm gonna kind of take profits here or set my stop into profit, and then if it comes back, you kind of see if the dark holds. The dark did hold, so back above the dark we go. Let's go ahead and flip to the 2 minute really quick. 2 minute had a really nice channel bounce there inside the cloud. Very nice, very nice. It also had that hidden bullish, but not really seeing the follow through right now. We're gonna do a fresh retrace idea here. I'm gonna leave that one there from the previous retrace, and we're gonna go from here to there. And then go equilibrium. No, we already had that. So we're going to do a pocket bounce. We already had a pocket bounce off of that. So that could have been the pre-hour open off of that zone. And 4 seconds till the candle closes. Cross down, thinning, cross down on the 2. Okay, so the 2 minute cross down event with the white coming above the light, coming above the dark, thinning of the 30-second. Are we going to break this cloud here on the super trend? On Friday, it took a while after the hourly closed to form for it to make that draw. It created a little bit of trappiness in the first 10 minutes or so, and then it did the draw to one side. It doesn't always have to take off immediately. Strangely holding the top side of the cloud, when we see this trend cloud hold, you start to see that holding and then possible surge up. The schematic on the website does give you how these cloud formulas work. So far holding, but you're getting the ambiguity of the cross down on the 30-second slash coming out of this 1 minute cloud. Getting the money flying away here, breaking the 50 level. In these middle of the channel plays, I don't really have like a playbook that I play from, so I'm just kind of observing right now. I like these divergence plays and the cross downs and the cross ups. So in the middle here is the idiot box, as we like to call it. Shout out to the horse traders out there. Starting to get a little bit of a reaction off of the cloud, perhaps. The thinning nature of the 1 minute here, the angle is going up, but it's kind of thinning. Starting to see a reaction off that 50 SMA on the Renko. It's also the 30 bar one, so you could rev out here. If it starts to rip to the downside, then it could be a trap sprung. We have no bias in any direction either way. It's better that way. The insinuation is to go up, but that could be to trap the majority. I'd switch to the 4 bar, but it's going to lag my system like it did on Friday. That's so weird. Oh, there we go, revving out, possibly breaking the 50. You got a bearish 8 bar now. Breaking the SMA, we'll take it. Oh, it revved out on the 50. The 400 level, I'm not liking it already. It's revving out. It's bouncing off the 50. It's actually might possibly be longing up. Let's go see. If it reclaims this 1 minute cloud, I'm out. So the 1 minute cloud happens to be this SMA. So if it fails this SMA on the 8 bar slash and then cascades to the SMA on the 16, you could be seeing this double top formation to the downside here.
I was seeing the rev bar kind of like insinuating a trap, which is why I entered right there, but with the cross down on the 1 minute and the 2 minute, we're not at a clear enough signal just yet to get people to switch sides perhaps. So you need to see it kind of with conviction beneath the SMA for any type of short to be real. It needs to close beneath the 390 region, start making bars beneath this point of entry. All right, breaking the cloud on the 1 minute. The cloud was starting to thin here. You had the cross down event on the 1 and 2 minutes here. That's what got me into the short. If at the bare minimum I could go to that 378 and reassess off of the pocket region, which it already bounced off of before, if it continues in that direction, we're ready to hit the flat button at any moment if it starts to rev out the other way. Boom. And we're short. Let's go. Come on. Break that 50 SMA with conviction, please. Continue. At least to the 78 region. Could be just sweeping the below part to trap some shorts too. You never know. There's probably a lot of people reversing positions and stuff, and they're dealing with all of those contracts of people that are flip-flopping. I'm not going to be one of those people. I already had a good trade for the day. So speaking of which, one more trade entered. I use this little trade counter. I mean, you can check it at the end of the day, but it's one of those psychosomatic things. Like, entered the trade. Entered. I'd love to see it do a little bit more conviction behind this. Looks like it's not. Rip. It's revving up to the other side. Looks like it's going to the upside then.
Revving out. It's going to stop me out. Yep, I'm just going to stop. That's so weird. It went to there we go. It stopped me out. So it looks like it's revving up off of the 50 SMA. So the 50 SMA is holding here, the cloud as well. If we go back to my indicator here, so this was the thinning point starting to rev up here. Looks like they trapped the shorts. We gave back a little bit of our gains from before. It's all good. Yeah, when it didn't do it with conviction, that should have been the telltale sign to just like close it. Let's see, are we going to rev up some more here? We could do the burst. I have the burst strategy that has a little bit more. If it starts to burst, I can just ride the burst for like 20 ticks and make that back up. And it's like a really tight strategy. Here we go. Ride that burst. If you're going to squeeze the shorts, then do it. Get it over with. And then it peels off immediately and moves into profit. So it's faster than I can react. So it keeps me, you know, green. There you go. Took off another one. If you're gonna squeeze them, then squeeze, baby. And then give me my money back. Oh, well, it knocked me out into profit. So I think we made that back. Oh yeah. So, I wish I had the separate monitor for the Ninja Trader over here, because couldn't be seeing this at the same time when you had the money stack coming back and the money flying away waning. So the money flying away waned, and then I should have just closed my short right then and there. But I was looking at the Benko at the same time, so you can't be on two things at once. Either way, we took that burst back. We took about, like, I don't know, 35 ticks back across 4 contracts, so we made back a good 50% of that loss. This is not the play for sure. That was like there's going to be some other draw that comes, and then, I mean, right now you're idiot boxing. Like, this is straight up idiot box till you make it out of the box. As you're going up above here, you're making lower highs on the oscillator here on the 32nd. Money flow getting above the RSI here. Cloud not convincing yet. And that's why the stop strategy on that burst one was really tight, because you can get trapped up in the highs there. Got to have the proper ATM strategies. I'll be happy to share some of these with anyone who reaches out. And then that could be... Remember, it's False Move Monday, so a lot of the people getting chopped up right now are too eager for the week, so don't be that guy, you know. The setup we took in the Discord earlier down here was calculated very carefully, so I have to be more calculating in my entries. I can't be horsing in and out. That's how I give back too much. Give back too much, trying to like be that like eager beaver, like, let me in, boss, let me in, I want to play the game. It's like, that's not how it works. You got to be a little bit more trade planning with it. So speaking of which, there is a gap that we are recovering over here, I believe. at 452 perhaps. If we come up into this region that we dropped down over the Friday session, there is a fatigue point that we could be coming up to here at 452. We did get a bounce off that cloud and the adaptive / weighted moving average as a double tap to reconfirm this as possible support to come up to this region and potentially higher if it does decide to rev out here. That level also coincides with this higher high region if it decides to tap into the pools above. Let's see how the ATOS contracts are looking real quick. We have a new hour to juxtapose here, so we have a bunch of buys entering here. Remember, buyers beware when there's lots of buys, sellers beware when there's lots of sells. We have a lot of buyers here. Means that if they stopped out a bunch of shorts, they might be done with their squeeze. Over the last 6 minutes, you are getting a bunch of buys entering up into this. Buyers beware of the top when there's lots of buys at the top, and then sellers beware at the bottom. The overall session delta is negative 1K, so we're still down 1,000 contracts negative to imbalance to sells. Just slowly drifting off the top of these channels. See, like these dots, these channels, I'm trying to find these points where it like reacts off of these things that are yet to be seen within the Momentum Master Suite. We'll see. The baselines always have been good to us. We're slowly drifting up to that like 52 range. Got that draw to the fair value gap perhaps. You're getting the money flying away, but it's just not convicting. They're just trapping perhaps. They're just riding the buy side at this point. Yeah, not my cup of tea to go into that. No, thank you. We'll wait for another A+ setup to unfold. We already had a decent setup for the day. Like, what are we at now for the day? Like, I don't really want to look at it, but let's just see for the day. $468 for the day. $468 for the day across a bunch of accounts. It's pretty good. So you're getting that bearish divergence times 2, and then this money flow thing happening as you come back in on the light side above the dark side here on this channel on the 1 minute.
Back to that 30-second cloud. Let's go see what they took out there. Slash. Took out 1, 2, 3, 265 sell side eliminated.
Fatality.
That's the buyers that entered there into the resistance. And that's what an order block is. If they're continuing higher, they then surge it up from that point. It's also the super trend level on the 30-second slash cloud slash this channel convergence point. Still not my cup of tea for that like sweet spot. We'll just go over like a little bit of what the sweet spot was like back in the thing here. We had basically this starting to form pre-market, and then it was just setting up nicely on the pocket, and then it just slowly went exactly to that position and beyond. So, you know, gotta wait for those setups to unfold. They don't just happen randomly. It takes time. Gotta let the liquidity be grabbed and fatigued. So that 1 minute cloud here, after seeing this bearish divergence burn off, you know what? Let's see. We're getting almost a C on the oscillator for bullish divergence. Not quite though.
Pretty sure we're going to come up to that fair value gap at 452. The cloud is still thick on the 1 minute here, and on the 30-second. That could have just been a draw to stop out those longs. Still a mighty large amount of buys entering in this region. 287 buy side, that's all new longs. There you go. See the buy side entering there. This could be a C leg if they got those longs trapped. Bearish retest, cloud not reclaimed on the 30-second here. And so that's why I look at this thing and I'm like, okay, I entered 4 times. Like, I don't really want to be going double-digit entries, and even one hand of trades is ample amount if you've done correctly. So patience and setups for the proper entry. So they're beneath that pool of 136 plus that they pinged in there. And then on the hourly, if you just look at this hourly overall, up in that 435 region, you do have a lot of buys up here. And that could have been It's like meditating, biznatch. There we go. Sorry, I got in the zone. I couldn't talk right there. I was just seeing the rejection off of the 0.5 equilibrium twice. The second time was a hit off of that cloud rejection point. So we took a little quick grab with contract ETM strategy. It secures the victory. It just secured it on 4 contracts. So we're going to probably get stopped out here unless it really rips. Yep. But that was a thing, and it could keep going. That was like a good 40 tick play, and it could keep going here, but we're not in because the aggressive ATM strategy that trails into profit. It's probably going to draw lower. Rip. That was what it was, from 25 down to 05-ish. Not bad. Still ripping beneath the channels here. That bearish divergence, and that coming back into these the light coming back into the dark channel and then rejecting off of the equilibrium was the play, for me anyway, for that moment in time that I was looking at. I've seen it before, and so I just took it. I was seeing the oscillators making lower highs, higher highs on price action. if we want to measure this move exactly, we didn't have time to do it, but we could do this, possibly coming to that sub 300 region, but we're chopping around off the 786 at 403. It's funny how my C goes exactly where it should on the fib too. You just do it enough times, right?
Focus on something specific. A word. Phrase. Don't expect that.
So I was seeing this white come beneath the dark channel here, and then it was not making strength. It was the second hit above that, and then it started to come down. And the thinning of this cloud nature, and we had the hit to the cloud rejection, hit to the cloud, and then that's when I entered, boom, on that B. I'm just going to post this for later, actually, in the trade alerts. All right, so it could just keep going here, but you know, that was it right there. That thinning of the cloud, you know, the thinning of the cloud is the same on the bullish side of things and on the bearish. And when you see that like thinning cloud and it's like a fib level, and you're already seeing confirmations of stuff being bearish, it's like I didn't think twice. I just, you know, I had to get in that zone. I couldn't even be talking, you know what I mean? It's a shame I didn't hold it, but it's better to be right in the theory. At some point we'll get to the point where we can just execute and hold, and possibly like have a better ATM strategy that is more forgiving. And there you go. Projection hit. That C wave was hit. And it could keep going. This could be a draw all the way down to the bottom levels here, hitting that 618 pocket again here. Would be the 1618 of the bearish trend base fib level. That could have been your retrace into the fair value gap silver bullet play for that hour right there, that low hanging fruit play. And sorry, I was very serious because it was like across like 8 accounts. So also, if you're interested in those like linking up of accounts, you get this Replikanto. It's a link in the description for a 20% off coupon. Why execute multiple trades when you can consolidate your trades? The risk goes up, but then you got to keep your size down, and then the compounding can begin. So we're at the bottom of the channel here on the 1 minute, so we could see a little bit of a bounce here. You are kind of seeing equal lows on the oscillator and a lower low on the price action, so getting a little bit of bounce after recovering this entire candle here could be in order. Cross up on the 30-second. Not seeing the stacked confirmation here on the money stack because it's kind of weak. Might be a dollar cost average inducement trap to continue to the 1382, so beware. Oh, nice. Thanks, Zach. Sorry, I wish I could have like expressed it while I was executing, but I was like locked in, you know. So 30-second cross up. Let's see what type of sell side was induced on the ATAS for you. A lot of sells down there were induced, 436. We're entering into the sell side pool now. on the hourly. Down in the dumps, we went down to VWAP for the daily VWAP level at 400. Also the point of control at 401 and the value area low at 397. We went below that level and stopped out a bunch. 396 got stopped out there.
Fatality.
And then we started to bounce back up out of that. And yeah, so these buyers that entered that we were talking about, like buyers beware for longs and sellers beware for shorts. So when there's lots of buyers, it starts to go down and stop them out. So there were 315 induced up there at 410. And then I was talking about that too, and then that also triggered in my mind, oh nice, we had a nice rejection off the 706 level. That's why I call it the trap door level, 706, so the bearish trend-based fib level. Boom. If you were seeing that rejection of the 706, you could have entered there too. Wow, massive trap laid. Boom, taking the longs for a ride. And so yeah, the 706 has been a decent thing, backtestably so. When you get to this 706.65, this is why I code these, color these blue. You can go back to this point in the video, pause it, and copy these settings if you're looking for trend-based fib extensions and how they operate. The 706 and the 0.65 rejection zones, when you reject off that 706 level, you do see some massive reactions, if you will, continuations, possibilities. I saw that on Bitcoin from 52K down to 41K in 10 minutes once. And so that impulse retrace idea has the math inside it, where it's going to chop up in the 786, 706, and when it finally rejects off the 706, if it does, then boom, it's a trap door, the trap door level. And now we're down to the 2 level of the fib at 368 and beyond. Can we go to the 356 level? We're now beneath this impulse, so we can say this is a deep retrace now. We went to the 706 of this impulse to the upside, swept this low over here. Let's go ahead and see what's cooking, what's crack-a-lacking for the Renko bars. That was also a level here on the super trend levels at the 200. They came up to the 200 SMA on the 8 bar and ripped it down. It was also, looks like it was the 50 on the 16 bar and ripped it down. So it's just like different ways to skin a cat. Like there's different ways to look at price action, different things to look at mathematically. It's 3 things. You have the math, the momentum, and the liquidity, and all 3 of those combine into trading. And so that's why we look at the ATOS for the liquidity, and the imbalance is there, and then the math tells you a clue where reactions take place, and the momentum with the cloud and everything gives you an insinuation too. It's quite fascinating, really. And now the white of the channel is beneath the dark now, and you're outside of this, and so seeing it bounce back up into that safety region would not be absurd to think after liquidating a bunch there. But let's go see what the ATOS has for us as we approach the 40 level. $3K imbalance. Oh, we had 920 stopped out in that drop right there from 400 at the value area low level. And it was 920 sell side out.
For the count. Fatality.
And that's what happens. And then you have another sell side, 199 down here. This could have been, since it bounced below that and then bounced here, that was 199 shorts that entered, because it dropped here first and you don't see them stopped out here. So then dropping down on the new 2-minute candle, this 199 is a short pool. So most likely it's going up from that point. Perhaps. Let's see. We're going lower. Let's see. This is not in the moment. I need to get another rhythmic account through another prop firm so I can just have this live. You can have multiple rhythmic accounts connected on this platform, but you cannot connect rhythmic to multiple exchanges, so I can't have it on NinjaTrader and here. So since I want to copy trade them, so I might just buy an eval just to trade on this alone, like a elite funder trading one, I think. So that is definitely a short pool that opened, so they're gonna possibly be in the money for a little bit, and we're coming back down here, so let's see. Possibly double topping. So we're seeing this cross-up event, double bottom event here, and potential lead back into the white. I might just close this quick. Bounce off the 2 level /706. They did have those short 200 contracts of shorts open. Are they going to open in profit? Or bounce out and stop them out and pay me a little bit? Pay me, please. Looks like they're gonna pay me. Thank you. Another trade in the bag. 5 for the day, and we are stopped out of 1, so we're 4 for 5 for the day. Good. And that's a good 50 ticks in the bag. And then my stop loss moves into profit like that. See how quick it is? It's faster than I can react. I try to snipe that entry and then just let it do the thing. And if it kicks me out, so what? I got 50 ticks across like 4 contracts. And then we see this light coming beneath the dark here, and the light's coming back in. We got the cross-up event on the 1 minute. We're on the 2 level /706 of the the fib level. We're just going to throw that in the trade alerts. And it's going to stop me out there. Yep, 30 ticks secured on that runner. It's all good. I'm not asking for much, just compounding. And that is 573 for the Dizzy across like 8 accounts or something. You're coming back into the cloud. Are you trying to break this like bearish trend of this downside dots of the dark cloud, or reject off it? It's also the outskirts of this volume weighted cloud here. We are also at the oversold region of the oscillator here on Optima, as we talked about. When it gets to that region and you get doubled bottoms on the Optima, you sometimes have bounces, especially if there's confluence. And we have the stacking of money stacks here on the oscillator, as well as on the 1 minute stack. We're still getting stacked, so it still could go up, but I'm out. I took my 60 ticks and I'm flat as a board. So we're back in that dark channel. Cross-up event on the 1 minute. We reached the 2 level of that Fibonacci of the trend-based fib extension levels of the bearish nature. We came all the way down to the 2, tapped it twice. It's also the 706 of this impulse to the upside here. So this is a double confluence thing that we took. It wasn't just willy-nilly. We were lining up the math with the liquidity. We saw those 100 contracts. We'll go back and show you that, the 100 contracts here. So I'm gonna go ahead and screenshot this. It's kind of good that it doesn't update, because that's what I was seeing in the moment. That's what I was seeing in the moment when I took that long bounce. And that goes to the Discord. So this has you have that 199. Those were definitely shorts, because we went down into this region and they weren't stopped out. It wasn't stopped out longs, and then they went down again, and then sell side opened here. So there were 200 contracts that opened into the bottom, and so I was like, oh, nice, sells into the bottom, I like it, daddy like. And then I saw the cross up and light beneath the dark, and I was like, all right, why not? Why not? No hesitation. Especially if you're on point for the day, 4 for 5, you got to keep going. Rejection of the cloud here. When you're on point, you're on point. When you're off point, you're really off point. It's about getting out, taking a walk when you're off point and stopping yourself. Don't size up when you're wrong, size down. Size up when you're right. That's why I'm doing these 4 contracts too. You know, doing the I didn't start with 4, I started with 3 for the day. Rejection off the cloud on the 32nd. Holding of the baselines. No money stacking or flying away just yet, but there is a fatigue sense in the air. Booyah. I'm going to delete the bearish trend-based fibs because we already reclaimed all of that in my mind. It's finished. It could keep going lower, but I don't need the lines on my chart anymore. Same with this deep retrace area. We did have a reaction off the 706. That was the second hit. We swept the internal liquidity. It was good. It's most likely going to break this if it goes beneath that level anyway. This also happens to be the 236 of the bullish thing we were talking about before before the trading session. So this is also triple confluence that we could bounce out of too. I'm going to delete this because that's a very old one. Clean up your chart whenever you can. All right, but that was cool. There was also a rejection off of those weighted and adaptive moving averages. Interesting. So it was the 706 plus that weighted. It was double confluence. We just weren't looking at it at the right time. Sometimes you just miss it. It's just not, the stars didn't align properly for you. And we're approaching the last 10 minutes of this hour of power. The trade of the day, essentially, of this hour was this level off the B wave. Seeing the fatigue, you got the bearish divergence crystals, you know, double time making into highs. Then it didn't go up to the fair value gap I was expecting, but that's okay. That's why I let go of ideas. I don't have a bias. I let it go. It came down here. It did a displacement and it came back twice. It gave you 2 chances. It came back here and then it came back here. After the first one, I was like, let me measure this. And I did a retrace and it was the 0.5. And then we came back to that 0.5 equilibrium. And then that's when I pulled the trigger and boom. And had you taken that quickly, you could have had like from 426 all the way down to 367, but there's no guarantees in that it's not going to bounce at any of these 2 points. All right. Hopefully you guys caught a trade or 2 that was in your favor. And hopefully I provided you with some value that you can go home and use on your own. Namely, the one thing that we can show you right now would be, once again, the rise retrace idea, and then you take these trend-based fib extension levels and you go to the bottom of the impulse to the top, and then to the bottom of the retrace. And then the 236 area is where you want to think about what is going to happen here. And then that will give you your C wave like so. And conversely, if you're doing for shorts, you have it like that, where you do the impulse and the retrace, and then you do that with your trend-based fibs, and it will give you these levels down here, and the same thing occurs, the 236 reaction. And that's what we saw with the trades. And that gives you the math behind where the C wave wants to go. And so we'll show you once again. Here we did the impulse retrace. It took you down to the 2 level. The 236 held off of that 32nd. If you were indecisive about that, the 236 here was like all the way down to the 786, and it never came back and went all the way down. Rejection off the 706 level, the trap door as we like to say, and boom, down below. And we could be coming down to that 2414 region. Once again, here are the settings if you're interested in trend-based fib extension levels. I love it a lot. Go back and pause the video at that time, but we'll just leave that up actually. Getting rejection off of those clouds, the thick clouds, man. Let's go see what the last of the liquidity is saying before the hourly close. Whoops. This is also you can get a free trial of the ATOS. You can connect multiple Rhythmic accounts and trade on here, and it does appear live. We'll actually disconnect Rhythmic and show you that as we head out actually. Disconnect Rhythmic. Disconnect from the bot because we're done for the day. Let's just disconnect Rhythmic. There we go. And then we go back, and then we're going to reconnect it here. Connections, Rhythmic, connect. And then when we do this, it's going to be this live action movement. Hello? There we go. So this is what you would see in the moment if you connect up your Rhythmic account, and then you have a DOM trader and a chart trader. You can trade on this if you like. But basically coming down into here, you have you had 545 stopped out there, because as we were entering up here, you had 368, 199. You had some buyers induced into here, and they just decided to rip it down. Now you're getting some more 238 more buys coming in here. And of course you can do this on multiple time frames. I'm just have the hourly over here on my left, but you could just change this to 15-minute candles if you want. And you can compare how the 15-minute, where there's buys that were induced here. And so as they create more sell side pools here, this might be the time that they start to shift out after they've fatigued out some longs. There are some buys that might be in the money after they ripped it down twice. If they held on for dear life, they could still be in the money here. But yeah, you got a bunch of sells down beneath here, and that's generally when sellers beware. Sellers beware when there's lots of sellers afoot. Buyers beware when there's lots of buyers afoot. And that is how footprints work. You look at where the buyers and the sellers fatigue. You had a bunch of sellers, 545 there. That could have been your reversal point as we end the hour, as we start to shift out here. That could have been it. Coming back into the cloud here, getting some bullish divergence on the oscillator too. Got a lower low and a higher low on the oscillator. Money flew away, but then it was sharply coming back on the table. Got the bullish divergence on the 30-second, but we were looking at the Atosh. You had the money bag. If you had Optima, you would have been able to see this on the 30-second. Shout out to anybody with Optima looking at it actively. Got the money flying away, subsiding, and then boom, money bag. Roller coaster indeed. Roller coaster indeed. Indeedly do. That if you like my ATM strategy, I'd recommend trying it out on a sim first, of course. But I'm happy to share that stuff. Just shoot me like, yo, what's your ATM thing? I'll send you the details. But I have multiple. There's one that's more frugal, that's not this 4-pack one, that's tighter with a 3-pack. Then you have a 5-pack and a 4-pack. These are all contracts, and a 7-pack, which you have to be very confident on. But you can try them out with different things, and it trails really quickly into profit and trims like along the way, so that it rewards being right into the burst. It's meant to be into the burst, like, and then if you're wrong, you just like get out really quick before you incur the loss. So it's when you're expecting a burst like this, and then you get in the burst, and then if it knocks you out, at least it rewards you for being right. Granted, you have to have like confluence on your side. Like I didn't do that here or here, you know. I was hesitant here because there was no levels. You know, here was an equal low, and it was this 236, and I know what these colors mean. This is why I have the colors a certain setting here. The 236 is always white, lead of color, and the 706 trapdoor is always blue. So I have these colors that I know when I look at it what it means. So if we're reaching a blue level, it was a 706 down here from this impulse up. So I was like, okay, we could bounce off of it. So I was thinking about these things, not just entering willy-nilly. It was seeing this at oversold region as well. So it was at the levels I like, the oversold, you know, a previous liquidity grab. There's these checklists of things. This was a nice liquidity grab bounce here. And we're back to square one. This is like a D wave. This is what your A, B, C, D is like. Well, ladies and gents, I hope you got some value, and I appreciate you for coming on in. So thank you very much for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day. We'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you on the floor.